throw you off. You can always look at them, look them up here in the back. Or sometimes I've noticed you can figure out what those Spanish words mean just by the way they're used in context. So don't get hung up on the Spanish words. That's the first tip I want to give you today. And the second thing I want to mention is don't forget to pay attention to periods and commas. It's not all about reading fast, fast, fast. Okay, it's reading for meaning. So I have my bookmark on page 53. I'm not real sure, because it's been a while since we met, I'm not real sure where we're at.
I have mine on
51.
89.
I have mine on 57.
So we've at least finished the part about the guy who was giving basketball lessons, right? Okay.
We discussed.
We did, and I think we even wrote about him, we listed him as a character. So that was the chapter, The Coach, okay? And remember how he was this big star basketball player, and they were like, why is he hanging around here giving lessons for free? And why did he decide he wanted to give lessons to that one boy who actually stole from him? Why did he kind of forgive him for stealing and continue to give him private one-on-one lessons? Do you remember? Did he see anything in that young boy that might have encouraged him to want to give him lessons? How about if it were you? What if you were some professional something? I don't know what. But you were a professional basketball player yourself, and there was one particular person that you were giving private lessons to. Why do you think they might do that?
Usually good at it.
Thought and engagement or have a joy.
So the kid maybe really enjoyed playing ball, maybe the student was really good at playing basketball.
Because the student was a little bit behind.
Oh, so maybe he was trying to catch him up. I think in this particular case, because didn't the sister come over and explain that the reason that the coach was coaching that boy was because he saw a little bit of promise in him, that maybe he had some ability and maybe he could make a better life for himself if he could get himself out of this neighborhood with basketball. Speaking of this neighborhood, it's called a barrio. Notice in the cover?
He sees promise.
Yeah, he sees promise in him, thank you. What do you think a barrio is? It says that this is a novel of the barrio, and we noticed that each chapter is like a different story, a different thing that happens in this barrio.
It doesn't say.
No, I know, because barrio is not, it's not Spanish. No, it's not
It
Spanish.
seems like it would be.
It isn't.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. What do you think it
Isn't
is?
like a gangster area?
Well, so it's a particular kind of area in a town. Okay, so keeping that in mind, because I'm gonna ask you when we're done reading, what you think barrio is. Cayenne suggested that it's some kind of an area of town that's kind of rough, a gangster area,
Yeah.
you said, okay. Because I think in the chapter that you're gonna read today, the word barrio is gonna come up again, and I'm gonna ask you what you think it might mean. Okay, so this is piano lessons, and we're gonna be on 53. This is gonna be another character that we're gonna read about in their lives. And remember, when you get to those Spanish words, don't let them throw you off. We can always look them up in the back. So he starts out saying, I like to read the LA Times, anything from weather to ads for hair replacement. Not that that's a problem for me, but you never know. Sometimes you glean, Raul's word, most from the shorter articles. 2 paragraphers about Bigfoot or a dinosaur hatchery in what's now Argentina, or a man who collects flat tires. These satisfy some thirst for weirdness in me. It's the crack of dawn, la madrugada, ooh, I can't even say that word, la madrugada, the most beautiful time when everything begins again. What do you think that means? Dawn, it's the beginning of the day, isn't it? Crack of dawn, the most beautiful time when everything begins again. But you guys are gonna go ahead and keep on reading yourselves and find out about this new character, and I'm gonna listen to a couple of you read quietly, okay?
Do we need to read?
If you think you're able to answer some questions for me about this character that's in this chapter, then yeah, you could go on. But if you don't remember, I would skim back over it and refresh your memory. So Kaylee, since you are right next to me, I'm gonna start with you, okay? Yeah, sure.
Poppy's mumbling a news clip to himself, then falls into reading aloud.
There we go, we just don't want to distract Morgan.
It's about a load of people, some even kids, who sneaked into the U.S. from Mexico on foot. So many they're nearly smothered inside a flimsy and ancient truck. The vehicle picked them up stateside, miraculously evading authorities, only to be Estrelado squashed on Highway 101 by an out-of-control semi.
Whoa, so what happened? So they were inside a truck, right?
Yeah.
And they were trying to do, what? What's that? Evading authorities. Yeah, you said evading authorities. What do you think that means? To evade.
Taking over.
No, taking over. They're Mexican people, they're all crammed in a truck, trying to evade authorities.
Change.
Mm-hmm. Evade authorities. Who would the authority be? Yeah, there you go. So what do you think? If they're a bunch of Mexican people crammed inside a truck, what are they trying to do with the law? Are they trying to follow the law? Trying to get away from the law? Breaking the law? What do you think? Yeah, they're evading the authorities. That means they're trying to get away from them. And what happens to them when they're evading the authorities out on Highway 101?
They get squashed by an out-of-control semi.
That's awful. So that semi runs into them. Oh my gosh. What happens then?
Many dead, so the final count's not in. It sounds like the score of some game.
Wow. That's terrible. Gosh, okay. It's more of the Spanish words.
Siempre la misma, los pobres desperately seeking for betterment, but often finding worse. Bobby says, a fear slides through his voice. This
So how does he feel when he reads this?
sad.
Oh yeah, he thinks it's awful. He says they're trying to seek betterment, but they find the worst. So in their efforts to try to find a better life, what happened to them?
They end up dying.
Oh, okay, keep going.
This is one of his themes, how the poor but decent come here to get in on the dream. How they're crushed like
Cucarachas.
cucarachas in the path of the strong.
Cucarachas is a Spanish word for cockroach. So they're crushed like cockroaches.
Thinking about those people, suddenly my throat goes tight. Thinking about those people, I miss Mexico. As if by the power of suggestion, my eyes skip to a obituary page. I do that anyhow, sometimes.
So what page is it again?
Obituary.
What is an obituary? No? Like if you're reading the newspaper and there's on the page and it says obituaries. Okay, you keep reading and then I'm gonna ask you what you think it might be. I do that anyhow sometimes, is where you were.
Creepy, I guess, but there are all kinds of interesting people mentioned in there. Like this article today about Liana Scott,
Right.
a black lady who grew up in the Barrio and never moved away. The Times says she was a piano prodigy, jazz especially, had a talent to spare from the start. She could have been a celebrity like Ellington and Rose, but she made a promise to a teacher to pass her talent on. So Liana Scott taught Barrio kids piano. From the time she was pretty little, those who wanted to learn and plenty who did. Most clients couldn't pay her with money. Sometimes they gave her enchiladas or snacks of rice. Even pigs. Once the event says a frightened Sal got stuck behind Liana Scott's piano and squealed like a crazed singer. She laughed herself weak and named the Sal Aretha and kept it for a pet.
Have you ever heard of the singer Aretha Franklin? She's this jazz singer. She's got this really loud voice. She named the kid Aretha after Aretha Franklin. Okay, so he's reading this information in the obituary. What do you think that obituary might mean? Any more clues?
That like for people where they mention famous people.
Maybe. It is about a person. Okay,
It could be a famous person, but it could be a just normal, average, everyday person like me, okay? An obituary. So you keep reading, and I'm gonna come back and ask you when we're done what you think the obituary is, because I think as you get going, you're gonna figure that out. I'm gonna move over to Connie. Okay.
Thank you. Oops, I'm sorry. Okay.
Even Rosa's more in control than Poppy, and she's pretty worked up. All frantic, she paces back and forth, taking a role of Maestro, the order, checking constantly for errors, no drips that could mar Mommy's porch.
Mar. That's
Mar.
Mar. Mm-hmm.
The scene like an old-time painter's workshop, a frenzy of activity and noise. As stones bloom into being, Poppy flutters and mutters like a dove on dry
Cuidado.
cuidado, with care.
Right, so that's what it means, with care.
We want no fracassos.
What do you think that might mean? So if he wants them to be careful, we want no,
Mess ups.
yeah, what is it they're doing?
They're painting
They're painting the porch?
because it's Valentine's Day.
Oh, does she know they're doing it? So
Went
it's a
to the
surprise.
store.
So why is Poppy in a frenzy? Why is he all worked up?
Because he's been planning it like a bank robber, is what they said.
So he's been planning for a long time, because he knows that she's gonna love this, and he wants to hurry up and get it done? Okay.
Bigger, I think. Weather, I think. Older, I think.
Hold on, yes. Bigger, I think, and,
Wittier.
yeah. Get rid of the R. It's just the word.
White.
There you go.
Wider.
Mm-hmm.
Older, I think. Solo, no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought.
Right, just a thought.
Comma, Poppy, comma. I say, trying to tranquilize him.
Mm-hmm.
You better paint, kids, Louise. Busy hands, sane minds. I nearly see this idea swash in Poppy's mind like a jumping fish. With sudden emotional fever, he grabs a brush. In a psycho swing, he goes the other way.
Does it say fever? It's sudden emotional fervor. Yeah, fervor, just like it's
Never
spelled.
heard that word
Fervor.
before.
Yeah, fervor means you're like all excited about it. You're all in a tizzy. So his dad, in this emotional fervor, grabs a brush. What do you think Dad's gonna do?
Try to get it done and make a
Maybe
mess.
so, yeah. Okay, keep going.
From manager to painter. Todas calados.
Mm-hmm.
No one speaks. He commands. I must have silence
Mm-hmm.
to create. Can't you see? I am Squares. I am Orozco.
These are names of painters from Mexico.
I am Rivera.
Rivera. Mm-hmm.
I am El Supremo.
I bet you know what that means.
Like supreme.
Yeah, I'm the best.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so now Dad's gonna get in on the painting, isn't he? Keep on reading. Thank you.